Welcome to Nasdaq TradeTalks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me for this segment, we have Dr. Saswata Basu, founder of Zeus, to discuss how decentralized storage provides increased security and transparency over the digital landscape. Well, Saswata, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thank you, Jill. Thanks for having me.
You got it. And let's talk about that. What is the significance of decentralized storage relative to the framework that we have today?
Yeah, so with AWS, today we have traditional cloud, AWS, Azure, GCP, and they don't enable you to switch vendors easily. You're locked into one vendor. And also the security and availability is an issue. So what we offer with decentralized storage is that it enables you to switch vendors, to have better resiliency of your network for your data storage. And you're not able to move from one vendor to another vendor easily. So with decentralized storage, there's no vendor lock-in. You're able to switch providers, and there is no single server fault. So, for instance, if AWS were to shut down, then all your businesses are shut down. And this happened with Azure, this happened with the Cloudflare. As you know, 1/3 of the internet was down and nobody was able to access their internet.
Well, if you're able to enhance your digital freedom, if you will, does that open up vulnerabilities when it comes to data security or cybersecurity in general?
Yeah, so digital freedom, users have full control over their data. It's transparent where you're storing your data. The servers, you can see if the storage providers are providing good performance for your data. And you can see if they're vulnerable. You can see if they're passing challenges from the blockchain. Now, you mentioned about the cybersecurity. Yes, you can, with data being distributed over multiple servers, a malicious actor cannot take your data from one server because your data is distributed. Even if they hack into one server, they don't get the full data. We also have encryption, and we also have immutability of data. So it enables you to protect your data at all times, unlike in traditional storage.
So then essentially you're advocating to, rather than having it on one server, but to have it in multiple locations to add another layer of redundancy, if you will.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, basically your data is cut up into pieces, it's fragmented, and each server stores a portion of your data. So even if a hacker were to steal one server or get into one server, your data is still protected. And then we add another layer, like you can make it immutable, so nobody can change or delete your data. And we also have encryption, so you can encrypt your data. And we have this technology called proxy encryption, where you can easily share that data to somebody like you, where only you can access it and without having to do anything. It's a one click.
So if I understand it correctly, that's a massive shift in enterprise thinking from, everyone's going to the cloud, right? That sounds like it's a complete 180 from that strategy.
Well, it's think of it as a multi-cloud. So you're locked today. You only have one provider. It's either AWS, Azure, GCP. Instead of that, you can have multiple providers, and AWS, GCP can participate in that. I'm not saying they will go away, but I'm saying they can participate. Of course, their price needs to come down. So there's a cost advantage to it, but there is a resiliency advantage and security advantage to having this platform. And today we outperform AWS. We outperform in S3, EFS, and EBS storage. So there's no reason for companies to now not switch to this next generation storage layer. So especially for AI.
Right. So what's your outlook then? Well, when you're looking 3-5 years out, your vision for data storage and decentralized technology?
Well, I think the outlook is very bright. Decentralized storage has come a long way. We have been working on it for 6 years. So now we are at a position where we can compete effectively in terms of performance. And of course, we already have the natural advantage of security and availability and resiliency, and being able to switch providers and provide free reads and other attributes to our storage. So the future is that all workloads like AI data workloads, database workloads can now shift toward using decentralized storage. And this way, the companies can also give something back to the community.
All right, Saswata, we appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thank you, Jill, for having me.